Alright guys, we are back, and now that I'm done with my little bait and switch tactics with this build, we're actually going to do a real parts preview. Here is that other motherboard that I bought originally to replace the one in the HTPC, but decided to use it in a different build. It now has the Phenom 2 955 in it. I'm going to be putting this one in the $17 case. The thing about this board is it does overclock pretty well, so I'm going to be adding these little MOSFETs to the VRMs over here. And I had thought about taking these heat sinks off and reapplying some fresh thermal paste, but it's got thermal pads on it, and they seem to be nice and stable. The heat sinks aren't wiggling around or anything. It should be fine, and I don't want to create more problems by pulling them off, removing the thermal pads and putting thermal paste and all that stuff. So we're just going to deal with that how it is. I'm going to be using the air cooler, but we are going to be transitioning to a water-cooled setup for the CPU. For that, I think I'm going to be using this old school Thermaltake radiator. This thing is out of a PC that I got on Craigslist a few years back. The guy traded me a case of beer for a half 932 PC with a X58 motherboard, and you know, I mean, it was awesome, dude. It had like all kinds of water cooling parts, and I wish I had been making YouTube videos a lot back then, because it was a killer find. I mean, it's my best Craigslist deal ever. I mean, I went and bought $20 worth of beer, and I resold most of those parts on eBay for about $550 when it was all said and done. I mean, he gave me Windows 7 Ultimate discs, that like the real deal from Microsoft and everything. I sold that for like, I just sold the Windows 7 Ultimate disc for 75 bucks, and it went like that quick. So it was an awesome deal. I wish I had video of that, but I do still have a few parts laying around from that deal, and one of them is this radiator. This thing is actually out of a full water loop kit that Thermaltake made back in the day. I'm talking like 2009, 2010, and it's called, I think it was called a Big Water. What's crazy about this is that it's like a real radiator. I mean, the fan density is crazy. Look at how bent up they are. I'm gonna try to, you know, straighten them out and stuff. And having such a, you know, dense fin makeup, I don't know how well, I don't even know if this fan actually works anymore, but I don't know how well the air is gonna be blowing through there with just this normal fan on normal speeds. I don't want it to sound like a jet engine just to be able to push the air through those fans. But it's the only 120 millimeter radiator that I have, and if it works, why not use it, right? I mean, it's not completely ugly. Yes, it is. But anyways, I'm gonna check it for leaks and stuff. It looks like it's been, you know, banged around quite a bit. The one thing that I'm kind of like second guessing right now is using this low profile card in this build, because this case can hold a full size card. I don't really want to waste a low profile setup. What I'm probably going to do is this is going to be temporarily installed in this system, and then I'm going to get something like an HD 7870. Those things are actually quite a bit stronger, not a lot, but maybe 10 or 15% stronger than this card, and you can pick them up for like 60 bucks. So that'd be a good deal. That's probably what I'll do in the future. Here's the RAM that we're going to be installing. I'm going to, I think, start out with putting these MOSFETs on, since once I install the board and stuff, it might be a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to these and stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll wipe these down with some alcohol and install them, and then start working on the inside of the case. Now this isn't a real technical thing, but I might as well do one on camera, and then I'll go ahead and bust out the rest of them. I know you shouldn't be using it, but I use 50% rubbing alcohol from the dollar store. You should be using a 90%, but yeah, it's alright. A Q-tip really is the way to go with this. You can kind of, focus and get a good scrub on. And there wasn't really much scum on there at all. Thought they're going to be a little bit dirtier. Alright, I'll let those dry for just a couple minutes since I used 50% alcohol, just to make sure there's no excess moisture. With any kind of little sticky pad, I usually get a little blade like this and kind of get under the edge and grab it. I just don't want to, put my oily fingers on it. Alright, now that we got that pad on, now we will peel this liner. We'll put the first one on. Ooh. All right, that's pretty exciting. The thing that kind of bums me out about this motherboard is we got a hole here and a hole here, and you got the pattern for a heatsink. And if you see the if you check out the version of this motherboard that has the SLI setup and all that stuff and the better chipset, it comes with a heatsink on the VRMs. So I looked around to see if I can get that heatsink. It would have matched these ones and everything and looked awesome, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Alright, we're down to our last one. There's some serious heat sinks. Right on. What should I go on to? Should we install this motherboard? Alright, let's check out this case real quick. This one. You know what kind of sucks is I think I spoke too soon about this space right here. And because the CPU is shifted pretty far back on the motherboard, or centered I should say, I don't think we're going to have room in there, which is really unfortunate. Let's see. Oh, that's just terrible. What to do, what to do? Do I want to continue this build and just use the air cooler for right now and totally postpone the water cooling idea? Or do I want to just jump into water cooling right now? Alright, this is the deal. I don't even know if this CPU works. I mean, I got it off of eBay. I'm sure it works. But I think the first thing I need to do is actually put this whole system together with, the RAM, the GPU, everything. Make sure it's all working correctly, and then we'll move on. And I will go ahead and throw this stuff together too and see if it works. That's the first step. We got to do it. Looks like I have everything hooked up right now. I think I'm going to hold off putting the graphics card in until I test everything. I think there might be Windows 10 already on this hard drive, but I'm not positive. But right now we're just gonna turn it on and see what's going on with everything. So now that I did, you know, a quick boot up and everything, the CPU's running, everything's legit, the RAM is fine. I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to concentrate our efforts into building a little loop right here on the table. I just don't want to install this motherboard and everything with the air cooler just to have to pull it apart again to put this water block on. So first things first, let's go ahead and build a little water loop. This should be fun. It's been a little while.